I'm sorry, but we have to reduce the time limit to 4 minutes. Andy MacDonald.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The Chancellor hailed his budget as being a budget for the next generation, so I want to focus on what is a nationally significant research and development, industrial and economic issue that feeds through from STEM subjects to higher education and into our industrial base, which I urge the Government to give its attention to. Disappointingly, there was nothing in the budget yesterday to address it, but I want to do it now. And against the backdrop of the steel closure debacle at SSI and Teesside, there were many deficiencies and challenges identified in our steel industry, and several asks were made of Government. Sadly, there was no meaningful or timely intervention from Government to save the SSI plant, which employed many hundreds of my constituents, and there could have been and there should have been. And whilst it's also without doubt that the entire materials sector is still critical to the UK economy, at the same time it's also widely accepted that critically important innovation in the sector is patchy and poorly coordinated. The UK Metals Industry Forum has said that a forward-thinking collaborative approach to R&D will have embedded innovation throughout the industry, from the smallest firms to the largest, directed by customers' needs. And in the UK, it's the Catapult concept, where we have the mechanism for innovation intervention, where we transform our capability and drive economic growth. But sadly, there isn't a catapult for the metals and materials sector, but there is an opportunity right under the Government's nose, and I ask them to seize it. The proposal is a joint one from the Materials Processing Institute, the Institute of Materials, Minerals and Mining, and TWI, the Welding Institute, who jointly propose to meet that very need by establishing a new national materials catapult as a not-for-profit partnership. The partners have letters of support from leading universities which show this to be a major concern for the development and upscaling of fundamental research. There is widespread support for this proposal across industry. In a short period, over 50 letters of support have been received from employer associations, trade associations, industry SMEs, universities and the public and private consultants. And the beauty of the proposal is that the partners are already in play. The Catapult will work with universities and other catapults across all sectors, and it will be headquartered at the campus of the Materials Processing Institute in Redcar, in close proximity to TWI in Middlesbrough and Teesside Industry. And of course, the proposed location for the Catapult would also enable Government to deliver on the commitment made in the Tees Valley City deal signed by the Right Honourable Member for Tunbridge Wells to encourage Innovate UK to establish this Catapult at the Tees Valley Innovation and Commercialisation Hub. The concept of a materials catapult was raised by the CBI in 2014, has been reaffirmed in their Treasury submission in advance of yesterday's budget, and support has been expressed by UK Steel and FSB, but sadly that wasn't reflected by the Chancellor yesterday. With the partners having collected over 300 years of experience, world-leading facilities and an immediate national presence, the Catapult presents excellent value for money. There are minimal start-up costs, and because it's proposed to use existing buildings, there's no lead-in time for construction activity. The ask is for £5 million per annum revenue support and £2 million capital under normal Catapult funding model, and an initial award of around £10 million to fund equipment for core projects. It will leverage recent and secured future investments which have been used to upgrade materials research and support facilities in Rotherham, Port Talbot, Cambridge, as well as the two sites in Tees Valley.
What my friend give away?
I will indeed.
Him giving away. I just wanted to make the point that this must be an organisation worth backing, because this week, they actually started a new steel production facility on Teesside.
Well, my friend is absolutely right. That's the value of these sorts of initiatives. And I regret to say that sometimes I think we have to press and keep on repeating these requests. This is a major contribution to our economy, and it should be grasped, because based on studies, a benefit of £15 of government spending would be expected, giving a 15 to 1 return would be giving a GVA benefit of £75 million per annum. The Catapult is needed by industry nationally and could be delivered immediately, and would give some credibility to the much vaunted but singularly absent Northern powerhouse. The Catapult is an entirely appropriate response to the steel crisis and builds on existing capabilities and expertise. It's cost effective and can have an immediate positive impact on UK companies. As well as that 15-fold return, it could be a beacon for inward investment, and there's a real potential for a £300 million project to come to the Catapult. It will improve productivity in the materials sector, strengthening manufacturing supply chains, and drive growth by supporting new and growing technology-based SMEs. It will improve international competitiveness by addressing the UK's relative disadvantage in materials innovation compared with Germany, USA and Japan. And I'll conclude, Madam Deputy Speaker, by simply urging the Secretary of State for Business Innovation and Skills not to block this proposal, because I'm convinced that it's not only vital for our industrial base, it will provide immediate and significant research and employment opportunities, it would be readily achievable and make a huge contribution to our economy.